Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a pretty wild pitch. It claims to have the secret for anyone trying to survive in an automated, AI-driven future. It's called a business operating system, and it's designed to turn literally anyone into an entrepreneur. So let's dig in and see what it's all about. Right out of the gate, the pitch hones in on a huge problem. The speaker basically says that for the average person, someone without a fancy business degree or tons of connections, starting a company that actually succeeds is almost impossible. It feels like the game is rigged from the start. And he frames this whole thing as a dilemma caused by two major threats. It's a way of creating this real sense of urgency, like, hey, we need a totally new solution and we need it right now. So that first threat, he explains it with this really powerful analogy. He says, building a business is like engineering a car. You need a complete blueprint. You need to know how every single piece fits together. But what do most entrepreneurs do? They just find a bunch of parts and try to jam them together, and that's why so many of them crash and burn. They're missing that fundamental engineering knowledge. The second threat is the one that's on everybody's mind, AI. And he makes this incredibly bold prediction that in just a few years, by 2027, most jobs that people do behind a computer are just gone, automated. And that's going to push millions of people into starting their own businesses, not because they want to, but because they have to. And this slide, wow, it really shows you the brutal math behind that prediction. He talks about a test they ran where an AI agent did a knowledge worker's job for just 1% of the cost of a human. Oh, and it was also 11 times faster. When you see numbers like that, you realize this shift isn't a question of if it's going to happen, it's just a question of when. So after painting this pretty intense, high-stakes picture, the pitch pivots. It moves from the problem to the solution. And to solve this huge crisis, he introduces a product he calls the BOSS, the Business Operating System. The central idea is actually really simple, but it's powerful. Think about it. A computer is just a box of parts without an operating system like Windows or iOS to make it all work together. Well, he argues that a business is the exact same way. Without a foundational system, it's just chaos. It needs an OS to guide it and keep it from falling apart. So what exactly is this business operating system? Well, it's pitched as a total business in a box. It's a whole collection of templates, scripts, and step-by-step guides that give you the complete architecture, the whole blueprint for starting and running a business from the ground up. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. It's how this whole thing is distributed. He calls the model open source, but it's not what you probably think. He gives that term a very specific and very different meaning. Yeah, he's super clear about this. Open source in this context does not mean free. Not at all. It means that when you buy it, you get all the source files, and, crucially, you get the legal right to change them, rebrand them, and then resell them as your very own product. And here's how that process actually works. It's pretty simple. You buy the system once for a one-time fee, you download all the files, make a copy for yourself, then you can go in and change literally anything. The logos, the text, translate it into another language, and then you can sell that new version to your own customers forever. So what's actually in the box? Well, the whole system is built on Google Workspace. Docs, sheets, slides, the whole shebang. It covers all the key parts of running a modern business. We're talking guides to email marketing, project management templates to keep you sane, principles for designing a good website, and even full scripts for running your own sales webinars. Plus, it has marketing plans for all the big social media platforms. All right, so this whole reselling right, this is the foundation for the most attention-grabbing part of the entire pitch, the claims he makes about how much money you can make. And I mean, he doesn't hold back. The pitch makes an explicit guarantee of infinite, limitless profits. Now, the logic is based on how digital products work, right? There's no cost to make another copy. So once you own the system, you can sell it an unlimited number of times, forever, without spending another dime.
And to really drive this point home, he actually says this system is better than Bitcoin. His argument is this: when you buy an asset like Bitcoin and then you sell it, it's gone. You don't own it anymore. But with this system, you're selling a copy of the asset. That means you can keep generating cash from it forever, and you always keep the original.
Now, maybe you're not quite ready to buy the whole system and start reselling it. Well, there's another way in. He also offers an affiliate program where you can just promote the original product. You get $30 for every sale, and if you actually contribute content to the system, you get bumped up to $40 a sale. This all brings up a pretty big question, right? Who in the world is going to create all of this expert-level content? Well, the speaker's plan isn't to sit down and write it all himself. Not even close. The vision here is massive. He sees Boss becoming this giant, living library that's built by a whole community of experts. Specialists in everything from running an Etsy shop to mastering TikTok will contribute their playbooks. And what do they get in return for their free work? Exposure. They get promoted to this huge global audience, which brings them new clients and leads for their own businesses. So the ultimate ambition, the big idea at the heart of all this, is to just completely shatter the barrier to entry for entrepreneurs. The goal is to create a universal toolkit that anyone, anywhere in the world can download, translate into their own language, and use to build a real business that actually makes money.
And that's what this whole pitch really leaves us with. It's a powerful and pretty compelling question for the future we're all heading into. In an age of automation, could a crowdsourced, infinitely copyable business in a box really be the answer? Is this the key to empowering a whole new generation of entrepreneurs? It's definitely something to think about.